Legend of Sleepy Hollow by Washington Irving. Washington Irving was born April 3, 1783 in New York City. His father was a Scottish merchant who had come to New York City before the Revolutionary War. When Irving grew up, he entered law school but did not like it. He liked most to ramble the Sleepy Hollow region and to visit the Dutch farmers who lived here. Irving wrote many stories and legends. He published Bracebridge Hall, Tales of a Traveler, Life of Columbus, the Alhambra, the Conquest of Granada, but the most famous is the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. This is the play which we are to present. Some of the characters are Ichabod John by John, Katrina Van Tassel, Anella, Brom Van Brunt, Nathan, Master Yost, Nathan, Frau Van Tassel, Sharon, Van Tassel, Nathan, Frau Van Ripper, Sharon, Hans Van Ripper, Darwin, and Van Til, Ricky. Narrator, Mrs. Johnson.
Washington Irving's famous Legend of Sleepy Hollow was first read by a delighted public over 125 years ago. But the church still stands today as Irving described it, and automobiles rattle over the Headless Horseman's Bridge near Tarrytown, New York. Long ago, the valley called Sleepy Hollow was a place bewitched. Some say that an old Indian chief held his powwows there before Master Henry Hudson discovered the spot. Some say it was a meeting place of witches. After they were driven out of New England, and you can still hear their voices in the air, high above the treetops.
Reynolds and Brimstone, meet me in the forest.
But everyone in Sleepy Hollow agreed on one thing, and that was the headless ghost of a Hessian trooper on horseback. His head had been shot off by a cannonball, and he roamed the valley on windy nights. Many worthy citizens had heard the Headless Horseman, and not a few had actually seen him with their own eyes. Of all the legends that hung about, this was the favorite legend of Sleepy Hollow. The schoolhouse in Sleepy Hollow was presided over by Ichabod Crane. He was tall and lank, with hands that dangled a mile out of his sleeves and feet that might have served for shovels. He had huge ears, large, glassy green eyes, and a long, sniped nose like a weathercock. When he strode along the profile of a hill on a windy day, one might have taken him for a scarecrow eloped from the cornfield. But in his small empire of the schoolroom, bounded with log walls, he ruled supreme.
60 seconds make a minute. 60 minutes make an hour. 24 hours make a day. The state of Connecticut is bounded on the north by Massachusetts and on the east by Rhode Island.
The fat cat ate the rat. Run, cat, run.
Silence, children. I observe that Master Yost Van Houten is more than usual industrious with his slate. Come forward, Master Yost, and let us all admire your handiwork.
Please, teacher, I don't wanna.
You bring me your slate at once, Master Yost. Thank you. What have we here? You would draw a caricature of your teacher, would you, Master Yoss? Read aloud what you have written.
Teacher's mad and I'm glad, and I know how to please him.
Go on.
A bottle of wine to make him shine, and Katrina Van Tassel to tease him.
I have ever borne in mind the golden maxim, spare the rod and spoil the child. I would not on any account have Master Yoss Van Houten spoiled. You will hold out your hand, Master Yoss.
I don't wanna. Ouch! Ouch!
I am only doing my bounty duty by your good parents, Master Yoss. There. It may smart now, my poetic young friend, but you will remember it and thank me for it the longest day you have to live.
Despite his stern discipline and his peculiar appearance, the schoolteacher was regarded as a man of great learning. He could quote long passages from Cotton Mather's History of New England Witchcraft. He was a singing master of Sleepy Hollow and led the choir earnestly on Sundays. These accomplishments gave him an advantage over the country bumpkins in wooing the blooming Katrina Van Tassel, daughter of the wealthiest Dutch farmer in the neighborhood. On afternoons, when his scholarly duties were over, Ichabod would repair to the Van Tassel farmhouse situated on the banks of the Hudson in a green and fertile nook.
And how are you, Miss Katrina? Always busy spinning, weaving, or baking some of your delicious little cakes. Ahem! Such delicious cakes.
It's nice of you to praise them, Master Crane. Won't you try some of today's baking? This honey loaf and these donuts and a bit of the new cheese and a glass of father's cider.
Just a morsel, just a trifle, just a drop. I'm a light eater, Miss Katrina. I take only enough to keep soul and body together.
But you must taste my apple cake, Master Crane, and a bit of this coffee kuchen. Here, let me fill up your glass, too.
Miss Katrina, your charms have made a deep impression on my heart.
Oh, Master Crane, how you do talk.
Katrina, there is something I must tell you. I'll thank you to pass the breech preserve. Something I have long been hoping. Well, just a drop more cider if you insist. Katrina, I love you.
Here comes Mother. I'll be singing.
Here's my pitch pipe.
Do, re, mi.
Good day to you, Master Crane. I see you're giving my girl a lesson.
Yes, indeed, Frau Van Tassel. Now give me A, Miss Katrina. And now for the song for next Sabbath.
By Babel's streams we sat and wept, while memory still to Zion clung.
The winds alone our heartstrings swept,
which on the weeping willows hung.
Very nice, I'm sure. Well, I must run along to my poultry. Geese and ducks are foolish things, but girls can look after themselves. Do a good lesson, Katrina.
Miss Katrina, as I was saying, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, I love you.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. This is so sudden, Master Crane.
Your virtues exceed my fondest hope. Just how large is this farm, Miss Katrina?
300 acres. Ah.
300 acres? Miss Katrina, I adore you. Tell me you'll be Mrs. Ichabod Crane.
You must give me time to think it over. I'll give you your answer.
When?
Come next Friday week at our quilting frolic. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la.
Next Friday week, the days passed slowly for our impatient lover. Already in anticipation, Ichabod saw himself master of the rich fields, the vast barn, the sleek porkers, the snowy geese, the regiments of turkeys. He knew he had a rival in Brom Van Brunt, a burly young farmer who won all the neighborhood races and cockfights and was leader of a gang of mischief makers. Brom had boasted that he would double the schoolmaster up and lay him on the shelf of his own schoolhouse. But Ichabod did not take his threats very seriously. To pass the time until the quilting bee, he reread Cotton Mather's book on witchcraft from cover to cover. He remained at his desk in the log schoolhouse one evening so late that it was pitch dark when at last he started homeward. As he walked along through the hollow, his teeth began to chatter, and the ordinary sounds of the night took on ghostly terrors.
Ooh, what a spooky night. Just the night for the headless horseman to ride. What if I should meet him? Ooh, ooh. It sounds like an owl, but it might be a witch. There was old Nance Dinwiddie of Salem and Bessel Bedlam, she that curdled the cow's milk and put burrs in the baby's hair. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Mercy on us, what a dreadful sound. Some poor homeless ghost, I make no doubt. Get back here, ghost, do. That's a good ghost. What a black night, not a single star. Ooh, there goes one now, shooting across the sky. A falling star means death. Then there was that black cat I met yesterday. That's a sure sign of trouble. Oh, is that a bullfrog or a haunt?
Finally came the evening of the quilting frolic at Mynheer Van Tassel's. Ichabod wanted to arrive in style at the home of his lady love, so he borrowed an old plow horse called Gunpowder from Hans Van Ripper, the farmer in whose home he was then boarding. On this steed he presented a curious figure indeed. He rode with short stirrups which brought his bony knees up to the pommel of the saddle, and the motion of his arms was like the flapping of great black wings. Such was the romantic figure that arrived presently at Mynheer Van Tassel's farmhouse to find the merrymaking in full swing.
Oh, it's a nice day, huh? I got my clothes on today.
Oh, Mynheer Van Tassel, this is indeed a salubrious occasion.
Evening, Ichabod, evening. Fall to and help yourself to the victuals.
What a bounteous repast! Apple and pumpkin pies, broiled shad and roasted chickens, preserves, plums, and peaches from my own trees. Oh, I should say your own trees, Mynheer Van Tassel. If Miss Katrina will be my partner.
Yes, here I am.
But Brom Van Brunt, Ichabod's rival for the hand of Katrina, did not feel so gay as the rest of the party.
You'd think it was St. Vitus himself pattering around the floor. He'll put He's put together so loose he'll fall apart if you don't watch out.
Ah, Brom Van Blunt, you've got a pretty rival for Katrina's hand here.
They say schoolmasters counting his chickens afore they're hatched. Look at him woggle her. You wait and see, I'll fix him.
You're supposed to be... Bravo!
Oh yeah!
Bravo!
Bring on the move side and fall to it, neighbors. You got a cold ride home.
Oh, this is the stuff to put heart into a man, huh, Van Til?
Give me a few bumpers of Friend Van Tassel's malt cider and I'll laugh at the headless horseman himself.
The headless horseman? Has he been seen of late? Yes, just the other night old Brower met the horseman. I hear you don't believe in me, says the ghost. That I don't, said old Brower. I think you're a humbug. With that, the phantom caught him for such a ride as never was. Then with a clap of thunder he turned into a skeleton and flung Brower into the brook. That'll teach you not to believe in honest ghosts, says he as he disappeared. What a thing to happen to a body.
Oh, that's nothing. I met the headless horseman myself t'other night coming from Tarrytown.
Coming back from the Flowing Bowl Tavern, you'd see anything.
No, I was sober enough. I offered to race the ghost to the end for a bowl of punch, and I'd have won the race too, but just as I got to the bridge by the churchyard, he vanished in a ball of fire.
A ball of fire? The Sleepy Hollow Bridge, you say? And tonight I have to cross it.
If you get by Major Andrews' hanging tree alive, you mean, schoolmaster. They do say the goings on around that tree, the wailings and groanings are terrible these nights. Well, ghosts or no ghosts, I've got to be getting home. I've got a barn full of cows to milk at cockcrow.
Bye. Thank you for...
Goodbye, friends. Thanks for your help with the quilting. Bye.
I want to speak a word to your lovely daughter before I depart, Van Tassel. You are giving pretty much to her wishes, I take it.
I love that bass even better than my pipe, schoolmaster. I've got just one rule bringing her up. Let her have her own way.
Good. Miss Katrina, may I speak with you apart?
Have you brought your pitch pike, Master Crane? I don't know as we know how to talk without that.
What passed at this interview, I wouldn't pretend to say. But something must have gone very wrong, for Ichabod stole forth after a time with a crestfallen air. Ah, these women. Ichabod went to the barn without any of his former airs, kicked Boar Gunpowder awake, and set off through the hills. The hour was as dismal as himself. Driving clouds hid the stars.
Get up, you crow's-face. Heaven have mercy on us. What's the matter with the critter? Get up! Concern you, you one-eyed knock-kneed, sway-back son of Balaam. It's the hanging tree. He sees the tree where they hang Gandry. Come, Gunpowder. If we're to get home afore cockcrow, we must get by this tree somehow. I'll whistle to keep our courage up.
even the echo mocks me tonight. Oh, what was that?
Ichabod, Ichabod Crane.
Who wants Ichabod Crane? I see it now, waiting beside the road. A man on horseback. Perhaps it's just one of the revelers going home from Van Tassel's. I'll speak to him. Good evening, friend. Who are you? Whoa, gunpowder. If he's more than mortal, a psalm tune ought to drive him away. Praise God from whom all blessings flow.
Hark from the tombs of a mournful sound.
There goes that echo again, mocking me. Oh, mercy, mercy, he's riding alongside. Friend, since you don't seem disposed to be civil, I'll just take my leave of you. Get up, gunpowder. He's close on my heels. Very well, friend. I have no mind to be sociable myself, so I'll just drop behind if you don't mind. We won't let me behind. Well, here comes the moon out from under the cloud. Now I'll get a glimpse of his face. Bless me, he hasn't any head. He's the headless horseman himself, and he's carrying his head before him on the saddle. Get up, gunpowder!
Away then they dashed, stones flying at every bound. Ichabod's flimsy garments fluttered in the wind as he stretched his long, lanky body over his horse's head in the eagerness of the flight.
There's the church bridge ahead. Gunpowder! Go scant by. Churches. Reach the bridge and we're safe. Cockcrow. Ghosts always vanish at cockcrow. Let's see if he's gone. He hasn't vanished. He's right behind. He's going to throw his head at me. Ah!
The next morning the old horse was found without his saddle and with the bridle under his feet, soberly cropping the grass at his master's gate. And where was Ichabod Crane? That worried Frau Van Ripper too, as she said,
Hans Van Ripper, please call Master Crane to breakfast. He's late for school now, and breakfast is spoiling. Hurry now.
Yeah. Why, Frau, look out the window yet. That's gunpowder. But where's my saddle? And look at the bridle. Ichabod Crane, why didn't you put gunpowder in the barn last night? Ichabod, why don't you answer?
But Hans, has something happened to the schoolmaster? Where is he?
Over at the schoolhouse, the boys and girls gathered at the usual hour. As time went by and Master Crane did not appear, groups formed on the steps and in the yard. Several of the older boys strolled about the banks of the brook, while the younger ones played in the schoolyard. But still no schoolmaster. Later in the day, small groups of neighbors gathered to discuss the strange disappearance.
Ah, the poor schoolmaster, he's a strange one.
Wasn't Ichabod over at the Van Tassel's for the quitting last night?
Wasn't he now? You should have seen him do the shakedown with Miss Katrina. And eat, where does he put it?
Well then, He would have had to come by the bridge and the church road. He was on gunpowder, wasn't he, Hans?
Yeah, neighbor, I lent him my horse and my best saddle to help him woo Miss Katrina.
Let's walk down to the bridge anyhow. Maybe we can see the nag's hoofprints.
And so the neighbors followed slowly after Ichabod's landlord, Hans Van Ripper, as he walked with bent head and searching eyes toward the Sleepy Hollow Bridge. Hans noticed that the tracks of the horse's hoofs were deeply dented in the road, evidently because of furious speed. When he found his best saddle trampled in the mud, he was speechless with anger. But as the men reached the bridge,
Hans there, on the bank near the water. It's Ichabod's hat.
And that smashed pumpkin, where did it come from?
Ichabod's hat, and so close to the water too. We must look for his body. He must have a decent burial.
and so the good neighbors searched the brook, but the body of the schoolmaster was not to be found. When Hans Van Ripper got home, he went to Ichabod's room. His pitch pipe, his books, clothes, all were there. As he was a bachelor and in nobody's debt, no one troubled his head any more about him. But as winter approached, and the time came for stories by the fireside, the story of Ichabod's disappearance was told again and again, and the legend grew until one day
Bram Van Brunt, wilt thou have this woman to be thy wedded wife, so long as ye both shall live?
I will.
Katrina Van Tassel, wilt thou have this man to be? I now pronounce that they are man and wife.
At the wedding breakfast at the Van Tassel home, the conversation naturally turned to Ichabod as the guests reminisced.
Have another big piece of cake, Hans.
That I will. Say, wasn't this Ichabod's favorite cake? Wonder what's become of him.
Well, I saw Ichabod Crane in New York when I was in the city last week.
No, Van Tels. You mean our Ichabod? Yay, yay, yay.
You know, Hans, I've been thinking about that ride of Ichabod's. Seems to me that the pumpkin we found beside his hat was more important than we thought. Whenever we tell that story, Brom Van Brunt is within earshot. He always laughs to fit to kill. I'm not too sure about this headless horseman.
Although Hans Van Ripper and Farmer Van Til questioned the method of Ichabod's disappearance, the old country wives maintained for years that the schoolmaster was spirited away by supernatural means. The bridge became more than ever an object of superstitious awe. The schoolhouse, deserted and fallen to decay, was reported as haunted by Ichabod's ghost, and the plowboy would swear that of a still summer evening he could hear Ichabod Crane's voice chanting a melancholy psalm tune among the tranquil solitudes of Sleepy Hollow.